something. I think we're made of something.
Clover had driven home the misery of their situation. But Junpei told himself that getting depressed would get him nowhere but depressed. For Clover's sake, they had to find Snake and fast. He did his best to push away the misery and depression and forced him a smile. So where do you think we should go next? Jeez. How about the casino? Let's go take a look. Before they knew it, they were there. So was Lotus. She was leaning against the wall, examining her nails. Hey, what do you think you're doing? She glanced up at him, unimpressed. Isn't it obvious? I'm looking for Snake. I'm just not seeing it. Really? Maybe you need to look harder. Junpei didn't think that was the problem. Oh, by the way, I've got a proposal for you two. Care to hear it? I really want to refuse and leave, but I'm super curious. What is it? Well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll get right to it. Why don't we team up? Team up? What, you need me to explain it to you? I'm saying, why don't we go through a numbered door? Even if we wanted to, that's impossible. Why? Junpei's bracelet's number is 5, mine is 6, and yours is 8. Our digital root would be 1. Or it would be 19. 1 plus 9 equals 10. Ah. But there's no number 1 door in the large hospital room. The only doors there are 3, 7, and 8. Can we add another person? Huh? Who? What, isn't that easy? 7. She was right. If they added 7, it would come out to 8. Then the 4 of them could go through the number 8 door. But... whoa, hold on a sec. What about the other 4? Why don't you add them up? That was simple enough. Equals 1. The digital root for those 4 would be 1. And you know what the number 1 door isn't in the big hospital room, right? Of course I know that. No, are you saying you'd leave them behind? Of course not. What kind of woman do you think I am? Once we get off the ship, we could come back and rescue them, couldn't we? Then we wouldn't really be leaving them behind. Does she forget that there are bombs in these guys? Yo, I've heard a little bit about this game, but now that you're playing it, I'm more intrigued. Awesome. Good luck, man. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, you should definitely play it, man. It's very interesting. Don't try to lie to us. I don't think you'd do anything of the sort. Really? Why do you think that? You remember, don't you? We have less than 5 hours left. Even if we manage to escape, there's no way we could come back to rescue them in less than 5 hours. Well, you never know until you try. No. You're not thinking this through. Even if we brought 7 with us, we wouldn't be able to get off the ship. The 4 of us couldn't open door 9. It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9. Yeah, that's right. The digital root for us 4 will be 8. So we'd have to add Ace to make 9. Right. Unless we bring Ace too, we'll be stuck. Lotus scratched the back of her ear. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. She didn't sound particularly bothered by what Junpei said, nor did she seem particularly surprised. Well, let's try and find another way, okay? A way to get out of here with all 8 of us. That's impossible. Are you being serious? You do know that only 5 people at most can go through one of the numbered doors. The number 9 isn't going to be an exception to that rule. Regardless, at least 3 people will get left behind. You're right. That is true. The moment he said it, Junpei felt a chill run down his spine. It was true. How Lotus could remain cavalier about so terrifying a prospect was beyond him. When they found the number 9, they would have to choose which 3 of them would die. Lotus's forehead furrowed. Do you think I could have a moment alone? There are some things I need to think about. Junpei and June turned and began to walk away from Lotus. Talking to her had left them feeling ill. Junpei's heart felt heavy and his steps sluggish. But he told himself pessimism would get them nowhere. So he forced himself to smile and turned to June. Let's just focus on finding Snake for now, okay? Yes, you're right. We can think about those other things later. Junpei nodded. Alright, where should we go next? Why is that still an option, I wonder? I tell you, go to the hospital and search! Ahead of them, farther down the hallway, they spotted Ace. Hey, Snake, where are you? Answer me if you hear me. Answer me if you're there. I don't feel like running all the way down there. Okay. There was no one to be seen, but next. They looked everywhere they could think of, but Snake was nowhere to be found. Lotus looked around at 6 frustrated faces and spoke. We can't keep looking for Snake. Wherever he is, it's not here. We need to get moving. Junpei couldn't disagree with what she was saying. Snake seemed to have completely disappeared. There was no point to wasting any more time. The others seemed to be having similar thoughts, but they stayed silent. Finally, 7 spoke. We don't got a choice. Lotus is right. We're not going to find Snake. There's a problem, though. We've got to figure out who's going to go through which door. Yes, I have a proposal. She walked back and forth across the floor, her heels clicking against the wood. Finally, she stopped. Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice? Sacrifice? Well, perhaps that's a bit of a harsh word, but yes. You've all figured it out by now, haven't you? We can't all make it through those doors. If we split into 2 teams and 4 and 3 people respectively, then 3 people will be left behind. If we split into 2 teams of 5 and 2 people respectively, then 2 people will be left behind. But if we split into 2 groups of 3 and leave 1 person out, then only 1 person will be left behind. leaving behind 3 people with 2 teams of 4 and 3. Junpei wasn't quite sure that was true. And 1 person left behind if we split into 3, 3, and 1. I got that part. You can't go through the numbered doors with any less than 3 people. But if we split into 4 and 3, then why do 3 people have to be left behind? Just run the numbers. Let's say we go through door 7 with 1456. I gotta go, I'll be back later. Okay, man. Jeez, Lotus, what the F? Did Snake sacrifice himself? I don't know what happened to Snake. I'm concerned. Exactly. But door 9 isn't there, right? Which means 378 won't be going anywhere. That was just an example, of course. There are a lot of different combinations, but the result will always be the same. It doesn't matter which 4 it is. The 3 that are left over can't go through any of the doors. Go ahead and calculate it if you have the time. You'll see. Anyway, that's how it is. Now if we can get back to my proposal, we only have to sacrifice 1 person if we split into 3, 3, and 1. When Seven spoke, his voice was strained. Then, you're saying we gotta decide who's gonna stay behind? Yes, we do. Given our circumstances, it's only logical and normal, and morally the best solution. If the other 6 are to survive, then 1 person has to sacrifice himself. No, that's too cruel. What's so cruel about it? To just sacrifice someone like that? Then what's your plan? Maybe we should sacrifice 2 people instead of just 1. That's not what I meant. We shouldn't sacrifice anyone. I told you, that's impossible. Wake up. Whoa, calm down, you 2. Santa stepped between Lotus and June. Look, what Lotus is trying to say is that you should aim to bring the greatest amount of happiness to the greatest amount of people, right? Exactly. That's how democracy works. And for that reason, I think the only fair way to decide who will be sacrificed is through a vote. What do you think? No, that's terrible. I'm not asking you. Shut up. Hey, don't tell my girl to shut up. You fix your chin. Does Snake sacrifice himself? Clover will stay to look for Snake. But see, if we have to pick someone, if Snake is still here, he won't be able to go through any of the doors with Clover, right? Because their 2 numbers would go to make 6. So if someone has to stay behind, if we have the option of Lotus, I want her to stay behind and die. But if we have the option of picking Ace and Snake is still here, their numbers are 1 and 2. So they could still go through the number. Oh wait, no, because you have to have 3 people. Oh man. Oh man. I don't know. If we can pick Lotus, I'm picking Lotus. Because I want her to die at this point. She's kind of a dick. Well, I agree, I guess. Alright, that's one vote. For counting mine. That's 2. 7? I can't say I agree with you, but we don't exactly have a choice. If we don't do something, we're all gonna die. Glad to see you get it. If I can get 1 more vote, then it's decided. What about you, Clover? Clover had moved away from the group and was sitting on one of the beds. Her whole body drooped. Junpei didn't know if she had even heard Lotus's proposal. Lotus walked over to Clover and gently laid a hand on her shoulder. Your brother has to be behind one of the numbered doors. We searched everywhere, but we didn't find him. Doesn't that mean he has to have gone through one of them somehow? Clover slowly lifted her face. Let's go look for him together, okay? If we sacrifice one person, then we can go look for him. You agree with me, right? Clover nodded once. The motion carries. What a bitch. It's a death game. It's probably predetermined. Probably. Lotus spun around and walked toward Junpei. Now let's start a vote, too. That won't be necessary. Oh, is Ace going to be the big man and stay behind? Ace had barely spoken for Lotus's entire speech, and everyone jumped a little. 6 pairs of eyes turned to look at him. He didn't seem to notice or even care. I will stay. Oh, I told you, as soon as we met these people, Ace and Snake, man, Ace and Snake. Oh man. That should solve our problem, yes? Ace, what are you saying? No, you can't do that. That won't solve anything. June's voice shook, and she looked around desperately for someone to agree with her. Ace simply looked at her. June, I'm afraid you may have misunderstood me. I said I would stay, but I never said I would sacrifice myself. Huh? I trust you, and I trust you, each and every one of you. But I believe you'll come back for me. Whoa. There's optimistic, and then there's just nuts. Those doors only go one way. You go in, you don't come out. If we go through them, you won't be able to return, correct? Yeah. True. But that will not be the case once you've escaped from the ship. What? Please, I beg you, once you've escaped, come back and rescue me. Ideally, within the time limit Zero has given us. No, that's ridiculous. There's no way we could get back in time. Finally, Junpei could hold his tongue no longer. We've only got 5 hours left. We don't even know where the hell we are. How on earth are we going to find someone to come and rescue you? And perhaps you would prefer to stay instead of me. Or perhaps you would be willing to leave June behind. Ace's voice was dignified, and without a hint of cruelty or malice. Junpei had no rebuttal. You see, there's no other choice. Then I see we've come to our conclusion. Go on. Don't worry yourselves about me. Go quickly. Aww. Junpei stood frozen by indecision, unable to move. June bit her lips so hard that Junpei feared she would break the skin. Santa stood against a wall, calm and aloof. Seven tore his beanie from his head and turned it over anxiously in his hands. Only Clover stared at Ace with an expression Junpei was unable to decipher. Lotus's attitude, however, was different from the others. Oh, I can't stand you! Oh, I can't stand you! Let's accept this kind offer then. She smiled, her eyes bright. Ace answered with a smile of his own. Good. I think this is for the best. I think this is the best for me. Perhaps I'll be able to take a nap. Perhaps it's my age, but I get tired so easily these days. As he spoke, Ace lowered himself down to the floor next to one of the beds. From somewhere deep in the ship, Junpei suddenly heard a screeching of metal on metal. It was almost as if the ship were screaming. Would it really hold until their time limit was up? Already, D-Deck was flooded. In the sudden silence, the only sound was the sad metal wail of the ship. Unsurprisingly, it was Lotus who spoke first. Well, what are we waiting for? We're wasting time. Why don't we hurry it up? As if a spell had been broken, The others all began to talk at once. You're right. We should get going. That's all we can do right. That's all we can do right now. 7. Seriously. Honestly, I was getting kind of sick of listening to you guys talk. You too, Santa? I have to find my brother. Wait, all of you? Let's just calm down and think about this. There has to be a way to get everyone out. There has to be. Right, Jumpy? Say something. Yeah, let's think. There's gotta be another way. His words sounded hollow and fake. Fine. Forget about it. I'll figure it out my own. She spun around and ran toward Ace. Aww. He slumped down next to the bed when June grabbed his arm and pulled. Come on, Ace. Please, stand up. You can't give up yet. We just have to sit down together and think about this. We'll figure out a way that we can all get out of here. Then it happened. Ace fell forward. He slumped over onto the wooden floor, his body folded in half, like a boxer out cold. Ace! June cried out and dropped to her knees beside him. She put her arm around his neck and did her best to lift him up. What happened, Ace? Ace? Say something. She shook him frantically. His eyes fluttered open. I'm all right. His voice was weak and slightly slurred. How are you? Fine. This. He held out his left arm and slowly opened his hand. It was a syringe and small vial. The vial was empty. It had only recently been emptied. A few drops clung to the sides. There was a label taped to the side of the container. It read, Supril Beta. Supril Beta. Junpei had no idea what it meant, or what kind of medicine it might be. Did you use this? Yes. It's just anesthetic. I'll be fine. Anesthetic? I found it earlier, while we were searching the hospital rooms. I thought it might be useful later. Huh, I didn't think I'd be using it on myself. Why did you do this? Didn't I tell you? I'd like to take a nap. I really am very tired. Junpei knew that wasn't why he'd done it. Ace had injected himself with anesthetic to forestall Junpei and June's attempts to bring him along. If he couldn't move, there was nothing they could do. He had injected himself so that they would be forced to leave him behind. Ace. Is there something you want to say? I'd just like to sleep a little. Could you keep it down? No! Don't, Ace! Don't fall asleep! Ah, you feel warm. So comfortable. I think I'll have a nice dream. Ace's eyelids drooped further and further, almost as though he were dying. Ace! Ace! She shook his shoulder again and again, but this time he didn't respond. Only the gentle rising and falling of his chest told them he was alive. Junpei was relieved to see he was, in fact, still breathing. Jeez, wowza. He lifted Ace up from the floor and laid him on the bed he'd been leaning against. When Junpei turned around, Lotus gave him a look of pity. Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let this sacrifice go to waste, right? She wasn't feeling any remorse. Junpei was sure of that. Still, he held no grounds upon which to oppose her. It felt wrong, but he had to agree. Then suddenly Santa spoke. Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we? Huh? What do you mean? We have to decide who's going in what door. Ah, yes. Yes, that's true. Well, enough of the screwing around. Let's decide. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want? I want door number 8. It's the same number as my bracelet number. It's the same number as my bracelet. Got it. You're number 8. You're next, 7. Which do you want? I'll take 7. I can't get along with that old lady. What? What did you just say? Her face distorted by rage. Lotus took a step forward. A step toward 7. He threw up his hands and made a face like a child caught with his hands in the cookie jar. You're going to get it next time. She shot him a glare that would have melted steel, then turned and stalked off. Alright, who's next? Santa's gaze moved across the 3 people left. Finally, they stopped on Junpei. Junpei, which door do you want? At last, Junpei's mind was already made up. Bleh. Okay, so I think that's a good enough place to stop it. Get away from Lotus. Exactly. We're not going with Lotus. We're not going through door number 8.